Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So the one piece of news that is dominating the headlines at the moment seems to be the exchange between Trump and Zelensky. The mainstream media doing what the mainstream media does best and making Zelensky look out to be like the hero. We even had our spineless weasel of a prime minister say that he's standing with Ukraine. Oh, let me do his voice. We're standing with Ukraine. Australia always stands with Ukraine. And let's actually support your biggest ally in this, the US. Oh, no, we can't do that. Especially with China, the warships just off our coast can't actually support Donald Trump and what Donald Trump did. And no, we've always got to support Ukraine. This is why Australia is going to be in a significant amount of trouble, because we have spineless, weasel-like corrupt leaders like Albo that seemingly wants to side with Ukraine rather than side with the US, which is our closest ally in this big fight at the moment. Yeah, sure, show your support for Ukraine all you want. But when it comes to like this particular situation, this is not about, Australia stands with Ukraine. You got to look at this from a diplomatic standpoint and also a rational standpoint and also a human behavior standpoint. From my perspective, what I saw Zelensky do wasn't great. Now, before I get people railing on me and hating on me and all that sort of other stuff, I want to say this. I don't like any war. I don't like Putin and what he did. I'm certainly not a fan of Russia. I am also not a fan of Zelensky. Okay, I think that guy is just as shady, just as shifty. He may have stayed when the war began. He may have looked as if he was a great, fantastic leader, and now he's just going around the world asking people for more money. And he seems to be literally the greatest salesman to ever exist. I'm not going to lie. That guy knows how to raise money. He knows how to get people to give him money. I wonder what he's saying to get people, especially the US, to give over $350 billion. And I personally would love to know where that $350 billion has actually gone. If I'm looking at this war from a rational perspective, because it's been going on now for the last 3 years, and Russia, before the war started, had a great economy. When the war started, Russia's economy started going down, obviously because the world gave them sanctions. They've got lots of minerals, oils, and all that sort of stuff. And then obviously when they invaded Ukraine, a sovereign nation, sovereign land, that sort of thing, the world reacted, and obviously the world economy is in the US. And so the hardest sanctions that came were from the US and the rest of the world, which makes it incredibly difficult for you as an economy to bankroll continuously this war. Putin has said that he wants the war to end. He's sick of it, okay? Do I believe him? I don't know. I believe somewhat in Trump's ability to try and get peace. Now, the powers that be, right, I personally don't believe want this war to end because it is quite financially viable for them. They're making an absolute mozza because of this war between Ukraine and Russia. And it seems like Zelensky is making quite a bit of money as well. You can't tell me that $350 billion has all gone towards the war effort, because why in the world are they still fighting? You can't tell me that $350 billion on top of what the rest of the world has given, Australia has given $1 billion as well, and plus the manpower and plus the weapons. Zelensky is also conscripting people. That is actual real and happening in his own damn country, because apparently he's got a manpower problem. I am absolutely amazed if I'm looking at this from a rational standpoint and trying to work out why in the world is Zelensky, or why is Ukraine still going in this war for such a long time. $350 billion is a lot of money. I don't know if you guys know that, but it's a lot of money to be pumping into a war effort, not to mention all the other countries that have given money as well. And for it to still be going, and for Zelensky to really not at this present point in time, not seek out peace. It's interesting to me. It's like, why don't you want to come to the table and actually work out a peace deal? Is it that hard? Really? And then you want to come to the White House. Anyway, have a watch of the exchange and then we'll make comments after that, because I think it's quite interesting.
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are
Mr.
not
President,
strong...
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
That.
You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering
position
on
to
this question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly
this.
what
I'm not
You're in
dictating.
no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very
You
strong.
will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position.
I
You don't
was
have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not
cards.
playing
But
cards.
right now, you don't.
I'm very
You're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're gambling
I'm
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think-
You're gambling with World War III.
What do you
You're
think
gambling
about?
with
What do you
World
think
War
about?
III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said
very
they
respect.
should have.
Have you said thank you once?
A lot of times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
you said thank you.
Even today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your...
So the first thing that Zelensky did, Zelensky's first mistake, is telling the US exactly what they're going to be feeling, especially when it comes to being across the sea. He's like, just wait, you will feel it. Like that, I don't think that comes across as something that is a right thing to say, especially to the US. And you can see Trump, he just chimed in straight away. And don't tell us what you're going to feel. Don't tell us what we're going to feel. And then he goes, you're not in a position to dictate or tell us how we're going to feel. No way. And you got to love Trump's posture, right? Like you look at the posture of Zelensky. Usually he had his arms crossed, especially when JD Vance was talking. And then he sort of started getting a little bit defensive when Trump started talking. And you got to love Trump's posture as well. You can tell a lot about people and their posture, right? Whether or not they're getting defensive, as they're opening themselves up. Trump seems like he's got a very open posture. He's leaning forward. He seems like he's quite comfortable. He's got his hands out most of the time. And when he's speaking, he's got his hands out. It's also a very, it's a power game at the same time. Trump's very good at this. He's very good at maneuvering his hands. He's very good at body language, techniques. He knows what he's doing, right? The guy has made deal after deal after deal. And when you're dealing with somebody that is obviously being self-righteous and arrogant in this particular situation, you need to play the power game. You need to raise your voice. And obviously this created a lot of drama. And the left, the usual suspects, Keith Olbermann, Piers Morgan, the ones that actually really do love Ukraine and support Ukraine, were just going, this is like, Trump, what were you doing? You shouldn't have been doing that to Zelensky. And here's the thing. Trump had every right to say what he said. He had every right to react the way that he reacted because Zelensky was being very disrespectful to Trump. And even Lex Friedman, who interviewed Zelensky, chimed in and said the amount of disrespect President Zelensky showed to Donald Trump and the American people today was insane. This was a mistake. I have tremendous respect for President Zelensky for the heroic actions he took in the early days of the war. But diplomacy at this stage obviously required showing respect to world leaders, even more so during tense, difficult peace negotiations. You don't get your back up and you don't try and defend yourself because you've made mistakes as well during this war. You're not all innocent in this entire situation at all. And I personally want to know, and I think Musk is going to get to the bottom of what happened to $350 billion. Like that, no short chunk of change can't all have gone to the war effort is what I'm saying. There's more to the story there. And I think we're going to get to the bottom of it very, very soon. I did everything I could to help in a small way to build bridges. This was the opposite of that. It was a big step backwards. All this breaks my heart. I pray for peace. And people just railed on Lex for saying this. You even saw Ben Stiller post the Ukrainian flag. You had so many people that I was watching that happened to claim to be American that it was a huge betrayal on their part to side with Ukraine. Ukraine's not going to help you if it comes time to war. Like Zelensky is dancing, according to Trump, you're dancing with World War III. You're dancing with World War III. He's dancing with it at the moment. He doesn't, if someone really wanted peace, he would have come there, shook the hand, listened, and negotiated a peace deal, a peace talk. But no, he got his back up. He was very disrespectful. And Trump, I think, did the best that he possibly could with the circumstances that he was dealing with. Because when you've got your back up and when you're frustrated and when you get a threat from a country that you're supporting, it just shows you're very ungrateful. Zelensky came across as a very ungrateful, self-righteous, disrespectful little prude. And to me, I'm like, okay, I know you're fighting a war at the moment, but you're going from, it's not really you that's fighting it. It seems like all your country folk are fighting it, and you're going off to goodness knows where else and giving people like this perspective of how the war actually is. I haven't seen much, if anything at all, of the war effort. I see more of what's happened to Gaza than I have with Ukraine and Russia. Maybe I'm just not looking at the right stuff on X, but I don't see much. I hear a lot about the war effort. I hear things have been going on, but it's been rather intriguing to me. So Gad Sad goes, wow, this is stunning. Patrick Beck David goes, who the hell does Zelensky think he is, coming to the US as if the country owes you something? A world leader acting like an entitled kid asking daddy for a bigger allowance. Respect to the president and JD Vance for putting him in his place. And that's exactly what I think that Trump and Vance did, right? And anyway, here we go. Lindsey Graham, one of the most pro-Ukrainian senators out there, actually came to the defense and the side of Trump. That's saying something. Americans witnessing what they saw today would not want Zelensky to be their business partner, including me. I've never been more proud of Trump for showing the American people and the world you don't trifle with this man. Zelensky took a while to actually apologize, but he finally apologized, I think, on Fox, albeit a very weak apology. And on X, he's gone, thank you, America. Thank you for your support. Thank you for this visit. Thank you, President of the United States, Congress, and the American people. Ukraine needs just and lasting peace, and we are working exactly for that. Well, we could have peace tomorrow. Putin apparently is ready for peace tomorrow. Trump's trying to get that. It's not about this power for Trump. He just wants the war to end. Here's a statement from President Trump. We had a very meaningful meeting in the White House today. Gotta love it when very meaningful. And the mainstream media painted Trump to be like a bully. They painted Trump to be like he was the worst thing ever in the way he treated Zelensky. The way he treated Zelensky was, we are the power. We've given you help. Now, show us a little bit of respect. Is it that hard to do? When you've been given so much help, you don't act like a self-righteous prude, is what I'm saying. Much was learned that could never be understood without conversation under such fire and pressure. It's amazing when you have that much drama brought out in that kind of environment. Just to me, when you see this kind of pressure, just how much you can learn. And we learned a lot, evidently, from Zelensky. It's amazing what comes out through emotion. And I determined that President Zelensky is not ready for peace if America is involved, because he feels our involvement gives him a big advantage in negotiations. I don't want advantage. I want peace. He disrespected the United States of America in its cherished Oval Office. He can come back when he is ready for peace. Trump obviously kicked him out because he was sick of Zelensky's attitude. And I think Trump had every right to say what he said, to do what he did, because he's the president of the United States and he put his people first. If you had a world leader that you're supporting in a major way come and disrespect you in the United States respected Oval Office, then why would you treat them any different to what Trump did? Like, you don't respect somebody that doesn't respect you back. It's kind of hard to respect somebody that doesn't respect you, is what I'm trying to allude to. And there's an old saying that Zelensky needs to learn is don't bite the hand that feeds you, right? It's not that hard. But for Zelensky, apparently it is. Konstantin Kisin goes, my initial reaction to the Trump-Zelensky spat was based on the short clip. I've had a chance to watch the 53-minute press conference with Zelensky and Trump, and you can watch the whole thing if you want. And do yourself a favor. Probably it's worthwhile doing it. It's painful, but I take back what I said earlier. Zelensky decided to attack Vance unnecessarily. He totally messed this up. Yes, Vance played to the gallery afterwards, but he was also correct. Litigating this stuff in front of the media was really dumb. Really poor from Zelensky. I hope he can see sense, apologize, and get a deal for his country. This was not smart. So I agree. Here's what Zelensky said not that long ago. We are grateful for the United States for all the support. I'm thankful to President Trump, Congress for their bipartisan support, and the American people. Ukrainians have always appreciated this support, especially during these 3 years of full-scale invasion. So, it's amazing to me just how many people actually came to Zelensky's aid and not Trump's, not the American. But, what's also interesting is Trump's reaction in all this. Trump is not an idiot. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows. Doesn't matter what the mainstream media may think or what they may say. They twist everything. They made Trump out to be like the worst person ever. Me, personally, I'm just looking at this. I know it's a lot of drama. I know he wants peace. And I love it when the mainstream media make it out like Trump is a huge fan of Russia, which is simply not true. But they make it this whole thing of Russia, Russia, Russia. Russia's fault for everything. Whole Russia gate. Russia interfering with the election, all this sort of stuff. It's nuts. And it all is proven wrong. But the mainstream media in America do not care. They got their own agenda and they want to follow that. It's amazing just how much the psychological nature of all this is truly spellbinding. It really is. Anyway, I just thought I would share my thoughts. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. But you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.